Welcome back to Once Upon a Sister.
I'm Faith.
I'm Rosalie.
And we're your hosts. So this week we just kind of wanted to have a more chatty, relaxed episode. So we kind of wanted to talk about our favorite books ever, books that we wish we could read again for the first time, experience.
Yeah.
That.
I have a feeling a lot of ours are going to be the same.
I feel like this got prompted because, we'll talk about it, but we love ACOTAR, and our cousin is reading them for the first time,
now.
So she's debriefing with us through all the little moments, and I feel like that's what prompted it.
Every time she texts us, we're like, I know. Want to reread it so badly.
Oh, I miss it so much. So anyway, before we get into that, what have you been reading?
Okay, so I'm only reading one book right now, and I was talking about this in our book club episode, so I don't know if you saw that, but I was reading Belladonna then.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the third book, which is the third book in this little trilogy. But this is so good, y'all. And I feel like I didn't explain the book last time because I was struggling to, but I have a better grasp on how to explain it this time. So we're following our main character in Belladonna. We're following our main character, whose name is Signa Faro, which is funny because June Farrow, Signa Faro. Oh, yeah. I was reading two books at the same time with the same last name. Anyways,
sounds like Sigma.
Signa.
I know.
Well, I didn't think about that at all.
Sorry.
Anyways, we're following Signa Faro, and she is an orphaned girl, so she's kind of spent her life bouncing around between different people in her family, and death just kind of seems to follow her, and it's always around her, and people are dying and things are happening, but she's always seeming
Meredith Grey.
But she's always seeming to escape death. Okay. But where our story in Belladonna starts off is her last living relative that she was staying with passes away, so she is sent, well, not last living because she has other family, but she is sent to stay with her cousins and her uncle, which she's never known them, so this is the first time she's meeting them. And in that family there is her uncle Elijah, who is I really don't know what he is, but it's back in Regency era, with the men. Okay. They just I don't know,
like a duke or something.
I don't really know. He's not necessarily a duke, but it's what was their careers? Because it feels like they're always just in their office. What are you actually doing?
Oh, I know. In Bridgerton, I'm I have to work. I'm
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
But that's what her uncle is. And then his son Percy, who is he's just being a 20-year-old boy prancing around town. And then her cousin Blythe, who is on her deathbed, very sick. So she gets entered into that family, and their mother has passed away, so she's not a part of the family anymore. And just as she starts living with them, things start happening, and little mysteries start popping up, and she's just trying to figure things out. They're trying to figure out why Blythe is sick and on her deathbed. They're trying to figure out what happened to Lillian, her aunt, their mother, and just trying to figure out all these things that you're slowly learning throughout the story. But also, she starts to see this man who is actually death himself, which I feel like it sounds a little weird, but he's basically just a reaper, and when people die, he comes to help them pass on. But she starts seeing him and being able to interact with him, so that's what is going on there?
Yeah.
And that's all I want to say, but it's just so good. I feel like I started it having no expectations. I just knew that. And I don't know, I'm really liking it. I'm on the third book already. In the second book, we start to get another point of view from someone else. And it just changes things a lot in the story. And
you're on the third?
I'm on the third right now, which is the last one. I'm almost 50% through. So I'm sad that's going to be over. But I feel like this third one is going to be my favorite one. It's just so good. I feel like you'll really like it.
I'm excited to read it. They're on my TBR. Everything's on my TBR at this point.
But I literally was thinking, I think last night when I was reading it, I was this was not on my radar at all. I was thinking about how we did our episode a couple weeks ago of books we want to read this summer.
That's what's funny to me is
and
we made
none
that
of
list.
These were on them. And now I've stopped everything to read this whole series because I'm obsessed.
Every time I've read a book since we made that video that's not on that list, I'm just laughing because I'm that's what we were talking about. I was we have things we want to get to, but then we just we're mood readers. So
I feel like we should at when the fall time comes, do a little bit of a reevaluation and see how many books we read from what we talked about.
Yeah, that'd be funny
if we did.
So I've been reading. I just finished the first Percy Jackson book, The Lightning Thief. And this is a reread for me. If you know, it's my favorite series ever, and that was so nostalgic. I finished it 2 days ago. Yeah, it's Thursday. I finished it Tuesday. that was so nostalgic and just so much fun to be back in the world. I like primarily listened to it just because I've been so busy, but I feel like the narrator does a good job, and like I just love those books so much. And like I feel like, you know, if you're part of this fandom, you know, you were like done a disservice with the movies. I actually like the movies because I loved Logan Lerman, so whatever. and I'm the kind of person that I can still appreciate a movie even if it's not like the book. Like I just, in my mind, I'm like, okay, this is different. This is a different entity on its own. But like in the movies, I want to say he's like, well, Logan Lerman was probably like in his early 20s at that point, but he's supposed to be 12, and they make his character like 17 or something.
Teenager.
So he's supposed to be 12, and you basically follow him like through his teen years almost. He's in 6th grade the end of 6th grade at the beginning of the first book. And so it was really fun. And also I haven't reread them ever. Well, that's not true. When I first read them, I immediately reread them because I was like obsessed and I didn't want to leave the world. And that was like in middle school. So I like, there's little details I forgot like that are different than the movie, obviously. Like I don't want to give anything away. I mean, they're super old, but there's like a whole betrayal that happens, and the way that it happens in the first book, like the way that it happens in the movie versus the book is completely different, like entirely different. And so I could remember what the betrayal was, but I couldn't remember exactly how it played out. And so I was like, oh, when I finished it and like reread that part, I felt like I was back like 12 again because I hadn't remembered that for a long time. So like that little piece of information was like kind of new in a way. So I'm super excited to read the next one, but I went ahead and started Shield of Sparrows, which is our book club pick of the month, which we didn't mention in last week's episode, but it is on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, like definitely join. And I'm like 30-something%
already
through. Yeah. And I'm really enjoying it. This is like right up my alley kind of book. So
I'm excited to pick it up. Yeah.
I'm like having a great time so far, and I'm a little confused on who what's gonna, no, it's not like a love triangle situation,
it's
but
just nothing romantic necessarily, so you don't know what guy.
Well, kind of, but it wasn't what I was expecting, I think. So I don't know. We'll see. Obviously, I'm not going to delve into it because we'll save that for our episode, but I'm really enjoying it so far. It's fun. Did you see that it's going to be adapted already?
How does that happen? Like,
I don't know.
A book just comes out and people are like already adapted. Like, also, did you see that Divine Rivals?
I sent it to you.
I'm so
Divine
excited.
Rivals is being made into a movie. I feel like it's gonna excited.
I don't know why, but I feel like it's gonna be done well.
No, I know.
Because I don't think there's a way you can really, like, how can you make that look bad?
Yeah.
Unless they like deviate from the plot a lot somehow. But I feel like that would easily be able to be made into a movie, like the way the plot goes and everything.
I saw someone comment, because I've gotten a bunch about it on my For You page so far, comment about it being adapted, and they were like, no, I've been gatekeeping Roman, and I'm like, why would you gatekeep a book
also,
character?
how are you gatekeeping one of the most popular books?
Like, no, I know. I'm like, well, I feel like a lot of people don't actually like.
When I first started like watching people on BookTube was when Ruthless Vows came out, and everyone was talking about it. Like, that was a really popular.
I don't know, but I feel like I'm like, why would you gatekeep a book? Like, why can't people just enjoy the book?
It's a
too?
book. Like just us over here trying to get everyone in our life to read.
No, I know. We're like, you get a book, and you get a book, and you get a Kindle, and you get a Kindle. How many Kindles have we given away?
Because we gave one away for our podcast. We gave one
to our cousin,
and
our aunt.
And our aunts.
I feel like it's been more than that.
And then, like, she gave me a Kindle for Christmas.
Gave my mom a Kindle. Like, yeah, I just feel like we're like, it's a bug. I'm sorry.
We're like, we hear someone read a book. I'm like, oh, here you
go. Would you like a Kindle? Anyway, so that's what I've been reading.
Yeah.
I feel like we're already going into the episode basically because I just did the whole thing about Percy Jackson, and like that's on my list.
Oh, you're already rereading? But like not reading it for the first. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about books that we wish we could reread, and you comment yours because we want to. Obviously, we're always looking to. Wow, words! I can't say words. We're always looking to discover more books. Yeah. So what's first on your list? I feel like it's pretty obvious.
We just want to jump into ACOTAR.
Yeah, like let's talk about ACOTAR.
No, our cousin's been reading it, and it's like every time she talks about it to us, I see myself and where I was sitting when I read the first book. Like,
Yeah.
I just have such a vivid memory of laying on my bed. Like, it was New Year's, so Christmas had just ended, but we still had some decorations up, and like I had my Christmas tree on, and I was just laying there in bed, and I was reading it, and I can hear, because I had my door open, so I could hear like people moving around in the house. Like, it's just such a vivid memory. But I'm
I
like,
know.
those books. Okay, I
Are we
know
gonna
talk
Are we
about
gonna
them.
give spoilers? I feel like it's gonna be hard to not talk about it without spoilers
Oh, I
of
didn't
certain things.
think we were gonna talk about spoilers.
Okay, well, there's one thing I want to say, but it has like a little bit of a spoiler in it, so I don't know. I'll try to talk around it. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say.
Sorry.
I was like, how are we? I wasn't expecting us to talk about spoilers. I don't know.
There's
Anyways,
just one memory that I have. I was because you were saying like you
Okay,
can remember
okay.
where you were at. I have one memory, but the conversation involves a spoiler,
Yeah.
so I don't know how to like.
I
I'll
was
figure
just
it
gonna
out.
say, like, I know we talk about ACOTAR so much,
Sorry.
and I'm like, is it annoying because it's like one of the most popular books? But like, it's popular for a reason, and we love
Yeah.
it so much. Like, there's just something so like different and distinct about how I feel about ACOTAR.
No, like changed
The
the
trajectory
trajectory of my
our
love
reading.
for books. And that's the thing is like, if you're on Book Talk at all, there are so many ACOTAR haters. People that I'm like, are you actually part of this fandom? Because like I'll see people say like ACOTAR fans love to hate on ACOTAR. Because I don't get it. I don't
Yeah.
understand
Why
the
are
hate
you-
for Reason.
yeah.
I don't understand the hate for Feyre. I'm like, are you don't actually like this book if you hate the main characters.
Or when people
just
like
go away.
like they hate the main characters, and then they hate like all the side characters, and they have all these like theories on them being bad. I'm like, what? Like, why are you reading
Enjoy
the book?
the books. Like I'm like, I don't know. I feel like if those people, I'm like, you don't actually like this book. Like there's the people that like are like actually believe that Rhys is actually a really bad person, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Also, like, people that get like, I feel like people get so entitled when it comes to ACOTAR, and they think they deserve it to be a certain way. Like, back in, was it March when it was the 10-year anniversary? I think it was March.
I think it was
April, whatever. It was the 10-year anniversary of ACOTAR, so like I guess I don't know. Stores were starting to like set stuff up for that,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, ACOTAR 6 is coming!" Like everyone was so dead set that there was an announcement, and then it didn't come. And I saw so many people were angry and mad, and I was like, "Y'all realize that like Sarah J. Maas has her own life. Like
Yeah.
nothing is entitled to us. Like we don't deserve the 6th book. Like
I don't get the getting angry thing about like not
No,
having more news
they're-
about the
'cause
book.
they're
I'm like,
they're
I
like, we've
don't
been waiting
care.
so long. We deserve some news." Sorry, this is so side tangent right now, but I'm like,
Well, that's what
y'all,
I'm like. I want the
y'all need
conversation.
to calm down. Like this lady, like Sarah J. Maas has written so many books. She's still in the middle of Crescent City, I think, right? Crescent City's not complete, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's complete.
So like she's been writing those books within the time after Silver Flames, and like y'all aren't like, and I'm not, y'all aren't feeling this, but like y'all aren't entitled to news or anything. Like, what if we never get another book? Like, it's not.
yeah,
I don't know. It's not like she's. I
don't get that, like,
understand
the way people get like actually mad.
it. Yeah.
Or like, when are we gonna hear about it? I'm like, yeah, it'd be fun to hear news, but
Also, do you like? Are you wanting to rush her? Like, I don't want her to be
No.
rushed and like bad writing. Like, obviously, it'd be fun to read the book, but I'm not gonna sit here and think that I'm entitled to get the book written for me and published so I can.
yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, besides all that, we
Little-
love this
little
book
tangent
so
rant.
much. Like,
No,
I don't know.
I love.
There's like
And
no.
also, something we talked about a lot was because okay, so I went into ACOTAR completely blind.
Me too.
When I started reading it, either it just wasn't like it was big, but it wasn't as discussed on Book Talk, or I just wasn't on the
I
side
feel
of
like
it
you
yet.
weren't on the side of it because you didn't even realize fantasy books were really a thing.
Well, no, I had started to see.
Yeah.
I had been starting to see like the fantasy books, and I saw people discuss ACOTAR, but like now it's I feel like an even larger scale than when we
yeah,
read it.
I think so.
But anyway, I knew nothing. I love to go into book series blind. I don't look anything up. I don't like if I saw a TikTok and I knew I wanted to read a series, I would just scroll right past it. And so I like went into the first book blind. And if you don't know anything about ACOTAR, go into it blind. Don't look anything up.
do not.
Don't look anything up. Don't look up any character names. Don't look up fan art. Don't just stay away from it.
Also, if you have read ACOTAR and you're one of those people who comments and like makes statements about characters, don't do that because
No, I
it's
know.
best for people to go in blind.
Yes. So a lot of people I know now say like, oh, I had just get through the first book, just get through it and then it'll be good. You just have to get through it. And I'm like, I devoured the first
Yeah,
book.
we
I
didn't know
loved it.
anything.
I knew nothing and I loved the first book. I finished it so
Me
quick.
too.
And then I think it just made all the rest just so much
So good.
sweeter, like so much.
I think there's also something like we read it together at the same time.
Yeah, that was really
Like,
fun.
but together. Like, we'll read a lot of books in similar times now, but like we were sitting on that couch every
Reading
Saturday
the same
night,
book at the same time. Yeah.
reading like Actar, and then A Court of Mist and Fury, and then A Court of Wings and Ruin, and then
Yeah.
like we were just going through them together, and it was, I don't know, being able to talk about them.
Live. Yeah. So she's always pretty much a little bit ahead of me just because I don't get to read quite as much as her. So like she was ahead of me. I think what series was it? I got ahead of you during Throne of Glass is what I want to say. But there's like
Yeah.
certain times where I'd get a little bit ahead of her and then she would jump back up. But anyway, I remember I was reading A Court of Mist and Fury, and if you like know anything about the books, I'm trying to not spoil anything, but there's like, I don't know how to say this without spoiling.
The way the book starts off, there's an event that is going to happen, and when that event happens, Feyre is removed and taken somewhere else.
Yes, I'm loyal to like the characters I know, and there was like a whole situation that happens, you know, between her and another character. And I was like losing it. Like I was stressing.
And I had already read more of the book, but also I didn't necessarily have the same reaction that you did, but we were sitting there and she was like pacing.
Because I was stressed that it was going to be like, I don't know how to say any of this without spoiling. Like I was stressed that it was going to be like
She just didn't want a certain outcome.
yeah.
And she wasn't, I don't know, you just weren't seeing where it was going to go.
Yeah,
you had no insight yet.
I didn't have insight. So I was like stressing. I remember, sorry if this is TMI. I was taking a bath reading the second book and my husband came in and he was like, how's your book? And I was like, I explained like the whole first book and then I'm like, and here we are in the second book and I just don't understand. And like, I was like losing it. Like, and he was like, he was totally in it too. He was like, oh my gosh. And so then like, it's like and where I'm at now, like where I'm talking about is where my cousin's at now. So, but she's like having a different reaction than me. I was stressing, but then it ended up all being good. But like as we were sitting on the couch, like reading it together, I was like,
and I was over like, are we okay? Like we need to calm down a little bit.
I was just worried. Like I don't know how to explain it without spoiling. If we do like an ACOTAR episode, I'll tell you exactly what I mean because I don't want to spoil anything for people that haven't read it yet. But if you haven't read it yet,
please
don't look anything up and please read it because
it's like
I don't understand the people that love to hate on this series. I think it's really fun. I love Feyre's character. She's one of my favorite FMCs. Like
I love A Court of Mist and Fury and like when we get introduced into a new setting and like exploring that whole side of the world, like was I feel really like
we
fun.
get because in the first book we get introduced to the world, but in the second book we
expands,
get way more like details and it's just
and
really
that was
fun.
also just like even as our cousin Jordan was texting us about the book, like today she said she was on a certain scene and I just immediately saw it in my head and I was
back
like,
in it.
I need to reread this. I feel like it's coming soon. Like
I think I'm gonna do it this fall.
We've literally been saying this for a while.
Maybe like October, November.
Yeah. Oh, it's just so good. Like nothing. Like I just wish I could read it for the first time. Like I'm gonna reread it, but nothing's gonna compare it to like being so fresh and not knowing anything that's gonna happen.
Yeah. It was just so good. And I don't get the hate because
obviously we love it.
No, it's just so fun.
Okay. I'm going to talk about a series that Faith hasn't read, but I was talking about this I'm pretty sure I was talking about it in my summer want to reads, the Windy City series, which is the sports romance.
Did you read the last one yet?
I just read it. I finished it, I think I finished it Monday, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, I love romance books, but I don't know what it is about specifically the Windy City series and like Liz Tom Ford. And I know this is her
author.
Yeah, I know this is her first series, so I'm like excited to see when she writes different things, and I feel like it'll still be the same. But she just writes in a way that I literally can't stop reading. Like I need to binge it. And these are longer books. Like they're all like 400, which is a little bit longer for a romance, but it's still like it doesn't feel like that. I can speed through those books just because I enjoy them so much. And like the way she writes the men and the relationship and like the emotional intelligence and like I don't know. These books do have some spice. I skip over that, but it's like it doesn't overtake the plot and it's just like you get to really know the characters emotionally and their relationship really forms on an emotional level.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. Like this last one was really good. And I don't know how to rank these because they're all like I feel like people when it comes to romance series, they're able to rank them and I am too, but these ones like genuinely Every Man is one of my favorites. I think my top 3 though would be Ryan Shea and then sorry, this is our brother's name, but Isaiah Rhodes and then Rio DeLuca, who was the last guy. But
Rio.
I wish I could reread these so badly. Like I was reading the last one on Monday, and I was just it threw me right back into the world of like how I felt when I read the other ones, and I literally put the book down, and I was like, oh, I wish I could reread it for the first time. Like I wish I could go back and just get to read the series for the first time because I don't know, these are just like such good romances. And then I was like, I hope I don't go into a slump, which I haven't been because I've been reading Wisteria, which is the 3rd book in the Belladonna, but it's so good. And then also like side note, I don't know if it's because it was the last book, but now she's making new covers. And the new covers aren't necessarily ugly, but they're not my style. So I like went onto Blackwell's and I ordered all 5 books, especially because on Amazon they're all like $18 to $20. And on Blackwell's they're all like 13, 14. I was like, I'm not about to spend that much money, but I do not want those new covers. So I'm like, while I can, I'm going to grab those. Anyways, if you haven't, you should read them. They're really good romances. And I don't know. Also, these books are ones that do found family really well, but also found family in the aspect of like, we really get to see them be together. Like they, in these books, the friendships, they have these like nightly dinners every Sunday, and you get to see that. You get to see it multiple times, especially in this last book, and it was just so sad. I was like,
wasn't this the series where you were saying that the last book, like they were all like sports, or the last one was like a manager?
No, that was the one I was talking about. That's the really short romances.
Oh, gotcha.
And those ones are spice free. Yeah, no, that's a different one. But this one is no. But also I'm excited because she announced that it's not necessarily part of the series, it's more of a standalone, but one of the coaches in the series is going to get his own book. So I'm excited for that.
For the Windy City series?
What?
For the Windy City series?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm excited for that because it's going to be like still in the world, but it's probably going to be different because he's not like necessarily in this friendship group. So it's going to be like a little bit detached, but I'm ready. And then also this last book, we really got like insight to her next series and like who we're going to be following for that. And I'm excited because I don't know, her books are just so well written. And I hope that I still feel the same way about the next ones that I do these because they're so freaking good. I'm just like so like I don't know, I'm so happy. Like when I was reading it, I was like like you know when you just like giggle. And like I feel like especially because we read so much now, I don't get that feeling that
As
often.
much. Yeah.
Like when I first started reading, it was all the time, but like I don't get it with every single book now. And I just when I do,
you like strive, you chase that high.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
No, that's how I like. I know I already talked about it a little bit at the beginning, but that's how like Percy Jackson series like made me feel as I was reading it, like when I was younger. And so I don't know, you know, like when if you're a reader, you know, you have like those first books that like got you into reading, and I was already like reading before that, but those were like I think books that like solidified my love for fantasy. And like I said, I haven't reread them since middle school, so I feel like I'm going to be like re-reminded of everything, but I'm pretty sure. So like if you, Percy Jackson, you know, Percy Jackson, and then there's Annabelle. Why am I forgetting?
Annabeth, right?
Annabeth. Yeah.
Yeah, because people call them Percy Beth.
Yeah, so Annabeth are kind of like, I wouldn't say enemies to lovers, but they're like...
But I feel like it's like boy obsessed, girl doesn't care.
He's not boy obsessed.
He isn't?
No, at least not in the first one at all.
They made him seem like that in the TV show.
No. In the first one, not at all.
Okay. Well,
but maybe it gets there. But that's what I remember. Like, they give you little, like, inklings of, like, seeing them grow closer. Like, in this book, absolutely nothing. Except for, like, at one point during the book when they get scared, she, like, grabs his arm. And then he, like, he like makes a comment about like how that was a little interesting or whatever. And so then like there's 5 books, and I remember when I was reading them, I remember when I read the last one, I was laying in bed and I was like, what, 13, I don't know. And I'm pretty sure the last one they like kiss underwater, like the first time they kiss is underwater, and like that's how the book, like it's the end of the book. Like it doesn't. I'm telling you, it's slow burn. There's nothing.
We don't get anything past
no, because
that?
it's not really like a romance.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be. But
Also,
like
I guess
he
they are
gives you
kids
little.
when it starts.
Yeah. I would say like compare it to like Cruel Prince, where it's like it's
Yeah.
not a romance, but it's really not. Like it's for kids. Like he's 12.
Yeah.
But like I remember when they kissed in like real life, I was like, like I was losing it. I was so excited, and so like I don't know. I'm excited to like reread how everything plays out, especially like with the last like 2 to 3 books. I didn't reread those ones as much. Like I would always be like, oh, I missed a series, and I would like reread the first one. I did it like several times.
No, you have to
and
like, do it together.
but I didn't like, I don't know, like I wasn't as serious of a reader when I was younger. I wouldn't like, I don't know, now I'm like, I'm gonna read the series. I read the series. Like then
Yeah.
it was like, oh,
Like,
pop
we're in
in,
it
you know what I mean? So
for the
I don't know.
long
I'm just
haul.
excited to like relive that, and it's just, oh, it's so nostalgic. It's so good. And I'm like, as I'm reading it, I'm like, I'm so excited to have my son read these when he gets a little bit older. Like, I don't know. I'm just excited for him to like experience. Maybe he won't care.
he'll like
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking about lately. Of like, I keep getting TikToks of families, and they're like, when all you do is read, so your kids love it. And I'm like, but how do you ensure that? Like,
Yeah.
because like, you can't know their personality. And like,
I know, because I make my son read every day, like as part of his schoolwork, and I'm like, "What did you read?" He's like, "I don't know." Like he cannot remember, and I'm like, "Dude, how do I get?" He's also 6 to mind you, but like,
No.
I'm like, "How do I get him
and
to
every
like?"
time I ask him about his books, he's like,
like-
sorry for those who were only listening. Like he
She's
just like grumbles
like-
about them.
Yeah.
Like what? Tell me what you read. Like
No, I know. He's so funny. So what about you? What's your next?
I can't even think honestly. I'm sorry.
Okay, well then I'll talk about my next. Powerless by Lauren Roberts.
Okay, I was gonna say that too.
I'm like, I know, I don't care if it's basic. You know what?
Mm.
They're popular for a reason. I devoured those books. And okay, so I know a lot of people like love to hate on Lauren Roberts because of Red Queen, and they're like, oh, she copied Red Queen, it's blah blah blah. From someone who has now read Powerless and has read Red Queen, all of the similarities are like the first 5 chapters of Red Queen, and that's it. Like, yes, there's similar like power systems. Yes, there's similar as far as it being like the 2 princes, but it's not. I don't get the hate. And also, like, I'm sorry, I don't know, maybe if I had read Red Queen when it came out, Powerless is way better to me. Sorry. I don't know.
Do that?
I need you to understand. Like, so much better. I don't know. Also because like in Red Queen, it's the same as like Cruel Prince, where you're getting like slivers of romance. Whereas
But
like,
also, like,
Powerless is like romance driven.
I feel like we are so similar to Lauren Roberts. And,
Yes,
like,
no, she would
She
be, if we
literally
knew
wrote
her.
this book to just write what she wanted to read, and like
Yes.
that's what we want to read. So
No, I get it, girl.
it
Like,
perfectly caters to us.
like I totally get it. No, I could see her sitting down and reading books like Red Queen and being like, I need,
Yeah.
and then so
Especially
she
with how
wrote
that
it.
one ended.
Yeah, so I'm just like, I don't know. I love Kai, I love Peyton, and I'm like, you know what? I love Lauren Roberts, and I want to meet her and be her best friend. Like,
Hey, Lauren Roberts.
no, did you see like when she did her Fearless? Like when like
It
I
came
don't know if
out.
it was part of the tour or whatever, but she had like some private event, and
No.
Emmy went to
Emmy
it and
Reed,
sat
yeah.
next to her, and like it was like a little table.
No,
Like, I was like, you're kidding me.
I need
Get
to
me
to
on that
point.
list. Get me on that list. I will fly to London, okay? Anyway.
That was all you wanted to say.
Oh, well, what did you want to say about Perilous?
I don't know. That one I just really would like to like for the first time, because I don't know. It's just the way she wrote it,
Yeah.
and like it's perfectly what we wanted to read, and also I don't know, it's fun. Like, and I can. That's also one of those books where I just remember exactly how I felt reading it for
Yeah,
the
I
first
know.
time.
There's a part in the first book where she's like, at a ball or whatever, and Kai is like drunk, and so he's like flirting with her, and then is it? I can't remember if he's like, what is he asking her? I don't know if he's trying to kiss her or what, but she's like, what does he write on his hand?
No. Are you talking about when she tried to kiss him and he said...
No, they're like having a conversation, and this is gonna drive me crazy. Pause for a second. Okay, sorry, I had to look it up. So she's like, he's trying to like dance with her and be near her, whatever, and then she's like, you can't touch me because you're drunk or whatever, and then
Oh, that's what I was trying to say. I just switched it up.
and so she was like, you can touch me when you're sober.
Yeah.
And so then he writes it on his hand, and he wakes up to see it. Like, I don't know, when I read that part, I should be like I just love those books, and I wish I could re-experience just like, that's one of those books like that I was like giggling, kicking my feet. Like,
yeah,
it's just so much fun, and it's just been really fun too. Like I say, like reliving it in a way, because Fearless just came out, so we finished The World, but like our cousin Emily was reading the series, and so she read Powerless, and so we got to kind of like same way with our cousin Jordan who's reading ACOTAR, like we got to kind of relive it through seeing her experience it. And I don't have it with me, it's in my room, but she just got us like these shirts from Powerless, and so I don't know, it's just fun. And also it just makes me think like, it's just so, the thing about reading that's so fun is it's almost like this exclusive club, because everybody watches movies, everybody watches TV shows and sees the trailer, so a lot of them have like an inkling of what it's about. But like books, you really can't. And so like when she gave us the shirts, we were like with all of our other family, and so we're all three of us are just having this little like moment, and like nobody gets, I know there's a bug, I'm sorry, we were just having this little moment, and everybody else is just like, well, our mom knew, but like that's what I mean.
We were trying to show our mom the shirt.
She's like, I don't know what it is, and I'm like, Mom, take 1 second.
She's like, I've never read this book.
She was cooking.
You literally have read all of these.
She was like, oh yeah.
Also, I know when she listens to this, she's gonna be like, you talked about me again. She's like, y'all don't have to talk about me every time. I'm like, it's not forced.
We're not like, okay, make sure we mention Mom in this episode.
It just comes up because she's our mom and she reads. Like, what? In our lives. Okay.
So funny.
Anyways, I wanted to talk about See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This is one of my favorite books. I've talked about it before. But that one was so good. And that was like in my first year of reading, of like every single book was so good to me. And I was like, I was staying up all night reading books. Wish I could do that now, but I can't. I have a job. Anyways, that one was so good. And that was the first book I read where it was like a magical realism type of book, because we're following the main character and she is starting her first day of college. She does it, everything. It's not the greatest day, so she goes to sleep. She's like, okay, I'm ready for tomorrow. She wakes up and it's her first day of college again. So then she starts, like, the next day she wakes up and it's the same thing again. So she's in this loop of, it's her first day of college, and she every day kind of does something different, and she's just trying to figure out how to get out of it. And every day she goes to class, and like everyone around her is obviously doing the same thing, because they're not really living the same day, and they're just like, they're going to be doing the same thing every time. But she goes to class, and the guy she's been sitting to every day is one seat over, and she's like, wait a second, why would he be one seat over? And she sits down and kind of starts talking to him and realizes that he is also stuck in a time loop and has been stuck in a time loop for longer than her. So then they kind of band together to try to figure out what's going on and how to get out of it, and also just like start having fun and just going and doing things, because like nothing's happening, so they can just go do whatever they want. But I just like, it was so good. And also I love Rachel Lynn Solomon. I don't know, her books are really good, just so good, and they're young adult. They were fun. Magical realism
was one of the books that I looked for when we did the the 1-star reviews episode. That was one of the ones I looked at. So like now I'm just like, people are so mean, because I haven't read it, so I can't like create my own opinion on it. So I just saw nothing but negative reviews when I was looking at it, because that's what I was purposely only reading the 1-star reviews, and I'm like, I feel like I need to just read it one day. But
I mean, it might not be, but that was back in my like era of when I first started reading. I would just look on Libby for books. I didn't know what was popular, really. I wasn't on Book Talk yet, and I was just looking on Libby and seeing what was available. But I did find some really good ones, and that was one of them. And I wish I could go back because
I
I wish I
know.
could go back to that
Sometimes
specific moment.
I wish I could go back to like before, like my first year of getting back into reading.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, I don't know, I feel like my standards were like,
It's because your standards are so low when you're like new to reading, at least for enjoyment.
yeah.
So that's what like my experience in that year was just. I was reading books that
Like,
now if
there's-
I read I would be bored and I would probably DNF. But
No, I
back,
know. I'm
like
like,
those fluffy little romances, I would just
I wonder what I'd think
binge.
of books if I read them now. Because there was books that I read in that year that I like devoured.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what would I think if I read it now?
Probably not the same, but it's just, I feel like there's nothing like it. Like I literally like would stay up all night every night reading books. I remember working at like I worked at a camp the first summer after I started reading, and I would just spend all night reading. Like I can see myself in my bunk bed, nothing but reading, and I was
How
getting,
would you get the? Did you have a Kindle? You didn't have a Kindle. at that
no,
point.
but I had the Libby app and I just read on there,
Hmm.
and like. I would go because like it was a camp out
There
of
was, like-
nowhere,
there's, like,
so
no
there's no
reception out
Wi-Fi, no reception. So I would go to where the Wi-Fi was, and it was like at least in the shop that I worked at during the day, and I would just download books, and then whenever I was in my cabin or it was night or whatever, like I would just read them, but I would make sure I could go download it and then come back and read them, and I just like devoured them. There was like I had Goodreads, but I wasn't really using it in the way of like really thinking about books and what I like. So every time I read a book, I would put 5 stars, and I was like, these are all so good.
Everything is so good.
What about you? I have another one if you don't have any.
I feel like it's kind of obvious, but Hunger Games is so good. And I feel like even you now, it's not going to be the same because you've watched all the movies and
Yeah.
everything. Like,
Yeah, I read the first book the other month, and like it was really good, but it's not. I don't think it's hitting me the same it's hitting you because I already know what's happening. But they're
Yeah.
still really enjoyable and really
yeah.
good.
Well, that's why I really want you to read Sunrise on the Reaping because before the movie comes out, because like
Yeah, I
I
will.
want you to like, but that the Sunrise on the Reaping, I wish I could re-experience that for the first time. I like it's a running joke between us. I am like one of the most emotional people you'll ever meet. I cry over everything. And it's weird because I've had phases of my life where I cry more and phases that I don't. Like my whole life I've been a crier, and then I had my first son and then I stopped crying. And then I had my second son and it came back. And so then I was crying again. And then like I feel like now I'm like in between the two. Like I do cry a lot. Like I'll cry at a commercial sometimes. But like
Cry at a TikTok, but not
I
to
don't cry at
books.
books.
Which
don't
is just insane because books are the most like, what is the word? The most form of content you intake.
Yes, I don't know what it is. And sometimes I'll be reading them. You know when you feel like you need to cry? Sometimes I'll be reading them and I'm like, the pressure of like my heartache is like wanting to come out, but it won't come out. But then if I start talking about it, sometimes I will cry. So like, I don't know. I think it's because
Are you just too focused on reading?
I don't know.
Because I love when I can like.
I
Every time,
wish. Like I'm thinking about reading some of Rebecca Yaros's books
read
because
the last letters.
because everybody's like sobbing over them. Did you
Yeah.
see Reggie's from what she's reading? Like she posted a vlog. She was
I
like,
don't recommend this.
I'm
to
gonna do a
anyone.
little nightly vlog of reading, and she was like, like sobbing over it. Was it the last letter or was it?
The last letter. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like I don't know. Everyone talks about that book being so sad.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm like maybe I need to, but I just am not a crier. But Sunrise on the Reaping, I cried, and like you saw in our episode.
Did you cry while reading it? You did, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't like anywhere near your level of crying still. And I want to cry at books. Like I don't get
No,
it.
that's why every time Abby Jimenez releases a book, I'm so excited because I don't want to cry all the time, but like I know I'm just gonna be sobbing at the ends of her books.
It's just
It's not you.
it doesn't. But the thing
It
is,
makes no
it
sense.
makes no sense. Like I am a crier. I'm a crier, but not with books.
I wonder if anyone else is like that.
And like I sit here perplexed because I don't have a reason. I don't have an answer. Like it literally just makes no sense. Like
And it's like our biggest joke.
like talking to my kids. I don't know, like just simple things. I'll be reading the Bible to them and I'll be talking like,
crying?
and I'll just be crying out loud as I'm reading the Bible because it's talking about God's love for us. I'm like, what? I can't stop crying over everything, but it's like reading a book. I don't know. I feel like maybe if I read it out loud, maybe that would be it, because I'm such an internal person. Like I'll be having a bad day and I'll be completely silent, and then I go to tell mom, and then I start crying. Like you know what I mean? It's like I don't know.
Yeah, I really have no idea why.
It makes no sense. But yeah, Sunrise on the Reaping. That's what prompted that all. Was that book has wrecked me, and I still don't have anybody to talk about it with.
I'm getting there.
I'm like,
No, I just got Catching Fire available, so I'll be able to read it.
I have been
next few
like,
books.
my husband was like, oh, well, because I read it and I was like, I need to discuss this. And then he was like, I think I was getting him interested. And he was like, oh, I think I'm going to read Hunger Games and read it. But he hasn't. And so I'm like, and so then I was like telling my dad, I'm like, can I tell you? And he's like, no. So I'm like,
Dad said no?
well, it was because Isaiah and Marcus,
okay.
because Isaiah and my husband were around. So I couldn't like, discuss it. And so I was almost like, Dad, let's go over there and so I can tell you, because our dad loves Hunger Games, but he's not going to read the books. I don't know. It's just, oh my gosh, it wrecked me. Like, I don't think
The way it's like, I have no idea what's in that book at all. I can't fathom it. And I know people cry.
And I say it wrecked me not because of like, it's because of, yeah, there's sad things that happen in it, but it's because of like the backstory. Like because you get so many puzzle pieces, and when you start connecting dots, that's what wrecked me. Like when you
connect dots to like what you see
to what you've seen in the original trilogy.
Okay.
So like there's certain things that like we never understood because we didn't have this piece of information, and now that we do, it changes the way you view the original trilogy. So like I would sit there, and the more I would think about it, the more things would connect, and the more I would cry, because I'm like, dude, it's
you just
crazy.
See that, the reason behind his actions.
Yes, like,
yeah,
there's so many. And then like, once you read it, I need you to go look it up on TikTok, because people make edits obviously, but like there's so many things that happen in the original trilogy, and you see like Haymitch act a certain way, and you're like, why would he act like that?
It's
and then you see that, and then now you like know.
It's insane that like she connected dots, and I haven't even read it, but connected dots so well that they filmed a movie. And like,
no, that's what people say, is like they almost wonder if like she told Haymitch his backstory.
That's what I wonder. Or like, did she really work with him to make sure he had the right reactions to things?
Yeah, or did like it just work out that like she wrote it to play into that? But I don't know. It was just like so good. That's one of those books that sent me into like a little bit of a reading slump, because I was like, I couldn't think
you read
about
that at the end of March, right?
I think so.
So then, wait, no, May.
I honestly feel like I've been a little bit of a slump since then.
But we read a lot in April.
It was April, because I read Fearless, and then I read that.
Well, I guess I can't check.
No, I know I've been reading a lot. So for me, I'm like, I say I've been in a slump. I've still been reading a lot of books, but I've been
they're not hitting the same.
They're not hitting the same, and I feel like for me, I've actually been listening more than I've been physically reading, and that like it's been making me a little bit sad, because I feel like my attention span is 0 to sit down and read. Like I've just been listening a lot,
and that's like, why I was scared to start audiobooks, because I didn't want to get to that point. And there are just times where that's what it is, but there are times where I'm excited. Like right now, I'm getting back to like picking up a book and like physically reading it. Not that I wasn't, like I was, but like I'm craving that so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not fun when that's like,
I feel like that's how I've been for a little while. Just also,
you've been so busy.
It's been a crazy year for me. So like I feel like that plays into it too.
But you haven't slumped out like you did that one time.
No, like I'm forcing myself to continue at least with audiobooks, because I'm like, I'm not going to slump out.
Yeah. Okay, next I'm going to talk about Crescent City.
Yeah.
From another book series by Sarah J. Maas. And I don't know. I know this is like her least favorite overall. Like people don't love this series.
I don't get it.
And I understand it's so different. Like Throne of Glass and ACOTAR are very much like what you would think when you think of fantasy. Crescent City is so different. Like it is modern day. It's what's called urban fantasy. So
yeah,
it's fantasy, and like there's angels and there's like mythological creatures and stuff, but like they're texting on their phone and watching Netflix and like everything. So I really love Crescent City, and it's hard for me to decide between that and Throne of Glass, which one I like more. Like I feel like they're very even for me. Yeah. But the other day I was watching this YouTuber I watch. Her name is Hallie Jones, and right now she's reading Crescent City, so I'm kind of getting to relive it through her, and it's like making me once again want to go reread it, but she was talking about how, to her, in an odd way, Crescent City is like comforting, and it made me be like, yeah, that's like something I feel, and I don't like, I don't know how to explain it, but it is comforting in a way. Like I really love those books, and I don't know, they're just so different. But also I can just see back to where I read them. Also, I feel like one thing that really impacted like how I feel about it is because I started them, like I started the first book with the graphic audio, so it was very like lifelike. Like
Yeah, it's
graphic
true.
audios are like, they literally, like if the scene is like two characters talking and walking down a street, you can hear the steps, you can hear cars, you can hear the characters talking. Like
It's supposed to be like a movie in your mind.
sounds like you're listening to a movie, and it's just, I feel like that did impact it, but like other than that,
Yeah.
I still love it so much, and I love the characters, and the fantasy to it is so interesting, and just like the plot lines, and they are so long. Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
why did they have
And
to
I was
be
gonna
so
say
long?
like, oh, there's only 3, but like they're like all
Yeah,
800
they start off
pages
at like
or something.
800 pages.
I was gonna say Throne of Glass, like, and we talk about this a lot. I feel like, especially if you're on like Book Talk, you know that like people are like, oh, ACOTAR is good, but Throne of Glass is life changing.
better.
For us, it's like kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
And it's not to say I didn't like Throne of Glass or even love Throne of Glass, but I feel like I just connected more to the characters in
Yeah.
ACOTAR. And also, I struggle a little bit with Sarah J. Maas's writing in third person. It's very odd. It's very, I don't know how to
odd.
describe it.
But also, I feel like she did something different between Throne of Glass and Crescent City.
Yeah, it's like cool
Because
because she started, her writing career started with Throne of Glass. And I feel like you can even tell the difference from Throne of Glass to Kingdom of Ash. Like
Yeah.
it got easier to follow, but there was points where I was reading it and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Because, but like
I literally, there was so many times reading Throne of Glass, we were sitting there, because that was another one we read together.
yeah.
And we were sitting there talking, and I was like, she would say something, I'm like, what? And she would have to explain it to me, because
Because
I'm like, I fully read that, but I just am not grasping any
Yeah.
of this.
But I will say, like, I think that we kind of did it to ourselves in an aspect where we read through all of ACOTAR and then we immediately jumped into Throne of Glass
We
and
should
we
have
were
read
just
other
going back to back to
fantasies.
back. And I was like, we should have
Throne of Glass is
paused.
such a
Heavy.
in-depth, heavy fantasy world that, like, you do not read that if you're just starting out. Like, please
Yeah. Like
wait a little bit, which we should have done.
I should have taken breaks between the two, like between each book, because
Yeah.
I was going back to back and I think it made me kind of like,
I feel like we had some
Reach
sort
a
of
point-
resentment towards it.
yeah.
Like, we were pushing, and we loved it and we were interested, but we were, like, pushing ourselves.
to like make ourselves finish it, which I think that like we did ourselves the disservice while we were reading
Yeah.
it. But I still like that's
I
what
wanna
that's
reread-
one of
yeah.
the main reasons I want to reread it, because I'll see TikToks about it and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I do miss this world. I'm like,
do
I
too.
wish I could.
And now that we just have more of, like, a concept on fantasy, and, like, we know how things
yeah,
work. Yeah. That and Throne of Glass and Crescent City, like, I'm excited to reread both of them too, but I wish I could.
yeah,
I feel like, honestly, Throne of Glass, I wish I could reread first. No, oh my gosh, can I talk? Wish I could reread. Oh my gosh, wish I could read again for the first time, just so that, like, I didn't
yeah. That's
do
what
it in the way I did last.
that's what I
time.
was trying to say, was like I wish I had done it differently. So that's why I wish I could read it for the
Yeah.
first time again, because I feel
Yeah.
like I should have paced myself differently and I shouldn't have gone straight from one to the other. Like
Yeah.
I should have.
I feel the exact same way. And then, like, Crescent City's different. It's like, I wish I could do that for the first time again, just for, like, I don't know, the feelings alone, and, like, getting to know that world. That world is so interesting to me. It's just, I don't know, I really like Crescent City for some reason. And
Yeah, it was
I know
really
it's
good.
not everyone's favorite, but it's just a really interesting world to me, and the characters and everything. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay, I feel like this episode is getting super long, and I wasn't really expecting
No.
that. I thought it was going to be a quick
I feel
episode,
like we
so
barely said any books, and we're already at 50 minutes.
I feel like we should probably go ahead and end here, and then maybe we could do a part
part
two
two,
later
yeah.
this year or something, and keep going. So, if you have a book that you wish you could read for the first time again, what is it? And if we haven't read it, maybe we'll give it a try.
Yeah. And don't forget to read the book club.
Yes. Don't forget to join our club, guys.
Kindle Unlimited for anyone who has that. It's on there.
Yes.
And it's on our Libby, so look on your Libby if you have
Yeah.
that, see if it's there, because ours was available right away and we were able to grab it and have no wait.
Yeah.
So
And
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting so far. I'm really enjoying it. It's right up the alley. Like, if we didn't even mention Fourth Wing, that's another one. We'll talk about that in the next episode.
see,
Like,
we'll do another episode.
If you like Fourth Wing and ACOTAR and Throne of Glass, like, this is gonna be right up your alley. So
Yeah.
anyway, Thank you so
Thanks
much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.